G'day everyone, and welcome to Griffinix Tabletop Miniatures. In this video, I'll be showing you how to build, or kitbash perhaps, your Cthonian Beserks the way I've done mine. Okay then, let's have a look. There we go. As you can see, right here is another little pre-built Cthonian Berserker there with the mole grenade launcher thingy and the extra little Ironkin dude. Now, I went ahead and built two squads with the axe variant, you see. And I built them to be one squad, and I didn't think, and I went ahead and just thought, oh cool, I'll have two of these mole things. And then I looked at the rules a bit and was like, no, I should just go with one for the 10-man squad. So I thought I'll take this one, and I'm building these ones, you see, with the hammers. And I'll change this to the hammer variant, and that way I don't waste the miniature sort of thing. And yeah, bit of a mistake I made, but that's okay, easily fixed. Now let's open this kit. Let's make sure. Jeez, I could change the blade on that, couldn't I? That won't cut the plastic quickly. Try not to damage the box. I'll take the plastic off. Okay, let's open it up. Have a look. Alright. Now, I already have a unboxing and review of the Cthonian Beserks kit here on the channel. If you'd like to check out that video, I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. Very usual transfer sheet. Actually, I'll just set that over there on top of the paints. You get your bases, as you would expect. You get your big base for the mole thingy, and you get a couple of little ones, or a few little ones, and that's for the mole grenades that come out of this thing, I believe. So I'll just set them aside. Actually, I'll put that all aside because I've already built my moles and I've already built my mole deployers, so to speak. Alright, you can see we've got these 3 sprues. It makes up the kit. It makes up all your dudes. Or people, characters, whatever. They're obviously not all blokes, like you can have female options, which is nice. Like this is a woman, right here, for instance. Okay, let me have a look. See what I've got to do to fix my thing. Alright, that's the one I want to work on first. So I'm just going to skip through right to here, I guess. Okay. So what I need to do is take this part, 92 and 93, and put it aside, and then cut this thing off of that, and put this converted bit on the back of this. Okay. I've made the beginning of this a little tricky for myself, but that's alright. These things happen. Now is the handle, the rest of the handle still the same? It appears to be. Okay. 92 and 93. Let's have a look. Are they even on this particular... Well, there's 93 and 92. They are. Okay. So let's cut these out. One. And where's the other one? Where was it? 93. It's up here. Okay. Woo! Right, and then we'll clean up these couple of parts. And I'll get them over onto me thing. And then it'll be, the rest of the squad will be fairly standardly built, just without building the mole character. Except for the, you know, the Fire Slayer parts that go on the back of the hammer. That's about all that'll make it different. Now this bit's going to be tricky, because I've already glued that in. So what I might do on this one, seeing it's like that, I might just take that a little bit like that. Just make sure that's separate. Now let's have a close look. I want to keep the detail from this bit, as you can see it. On one side it's here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera very well, but then on the other side it's not. So yeah, I've got to work out how to keep that without cutting too much off. So on here, that equates to just before that strap. So if I gently, just gently this way, then that way, I can take that off in its entirety. Now, because I've cut it funny like this, a lot of people might want to choose to pin that part into place, just to make it sit more accurately, things of that nature. But I'm not too worried about that. Like, I'm just going to fill that gap with a bit of green stuff, or milliput, or even some of the plastic putty you can see over here. I'm not sure what I'll use, but whatever I use, I'll just try and make it look, you know, sort of hidden that I did anything like this there, and it will be our little secret. Alright, now I probably should have put the end of this hammer on before now, but oh well, better late than never. Let's get that on there. That will probably be the other way around by the feels of it. Yep. Alright, that's better. Okay, I've got that little bit of glue on that bit, and now I'm just going to smooth this bit out just a little. Just that bit, like that. Some glue on the surface, if I can, just on the spot, and then I'll just look at the instructions again and just see which way this is sort of facing. It's sort of facing down like that, so my filling of the gap is just going to be underneath, sort of hidden. I like that actually, that's good. Means it won't be so obvious, my little bit of work there that I've done to fix my error. Now I've got to, yep. Knew this wouldn't be so easy. Now there's other ways you could attach this. You could fill the gap, you know, let it dry, all that sort of stuff, like on the part itself, and then sort of smooth it out, file it out, and then put a pin, drill a hole in each end and put a pin in. That would be the smart thing to do. But I'm not too worried about it, you know, that much. Like, it will be a bit weak until it dries, but these aren't going to get knocked around too much, I don't think. So, like I said, if you want a more secure bond, you can do it with other things and some super glue and stuff. But I'm happy with it as it is, so that'll do fine for me. Now I'm just going to sit that there, and there appears to be someone at the door. Alright, now I did just go and come back after checking the front door, and I also got out some of my other Cthonian Beserks. As you can see, my what will be 2 10-man squads, one lot with the axes and one lot with the hammers, each converted to have the Fyreslayer flails sort of thing on the ends, which I think look pretty cool. Anyway, put that away. Now, as you can see, I've gotten this sort of stuck in place. It's not quite how I wanted it, but it'll do for now. It's not perfect, but like I said, it'll do. Let's just make sure this has got some fresh little bit of glue on it, because I think I left it a bit long and it may have dried. So we'll have that like that. We'll take this and stick that on the end, and I'm hoping I can just give it a little bit of a bend. Actually, just going to slightly bend the plastic here, just slightly, because I don't want the flail touching the ground. I'd like it to just ever so slightly be elevated from it. That would be the goal. And that doesn't seem to want to stick very well. Spread that out a bit. Alright. Alright, have that back and then sit that on. And, ooh, kind of sticking. Now if I hold this up in place, that might help a little. Sorry, my thumb's right in the way there. But you can see I'm just holding that up. I'm just trying to keep it from falling down too far. At the same time as getting that to dry, but also getting the new head of the hammer now to sit on the pole, yeah, on the handle there rather. If I just hold that for a little bit, it might dry a little. That's alright. Be kind of cool actually if that held back a little further. So like if I just do that. There we are. It appears to be holding. Now any gaps around here, like up on here, or if you want to make it look a little bit more perfect, you could go with some plastic putty or green stuff or milliput and just continue that kink on the chain, so to speak, just up above, and then help hold it onto the thing with like a little anchorage or something, like going across like a little bar. That could make it look a little bit more detailed. I may not bother doing that. It depends. If it ends up looking okay or close enough before I paint it, then I might just paint it, and that might be enough. But yeah, there we go. I fixed that, so I can put this one now proudly with this squad. Okay. Now I've got to build this last character, this time not to be the mole guy, so I can put it over on the Axes squad, so to speak. Let's have a look. Okay, so you've got this option, this option, this option, this option. How exactly to do it? Can be like that, can be like that. Alright. Well, let's see. Okay. Let's get a base, first and foremost. Just tear it. There we go. Get that out, chuck that away. Now I'm not sure which spirit it was on. Was it this one? This one? Let's have a look at the part numbers, eh? 67, 69. Yes, okay. There's 67 right here, so we'll cut that one off. Now this is one of the most awkward and backwards ways of building this kit, but because I'd done some earlier and didn't quite do it as perfect as I'd liked, because I didn't read the rules as thoroughly as I should have, for my best options, best choice, I think it was worth going back over and fixing things anyway. Now I've got to get the feet off, I guess. 69 and 68. Hoping it's on this frickin' sprue. Yes, it is. It's the other long foot up here, long leg. I really do love these Leagues of Votann kits. They're so detailed and so like small, so perfectly dwarf, and that I absolutely love. I just think they've done a really good job, and I really wonder how long it took for them to come up with doing them this way. I'd find it very interesting to know what the process was. You know, like, I wonder what other designs they came up with that they didn't decide to go with. And then I also wonder what we might see in the future, you know, like what they might come out with for the Leagues of Votann now that they've been established. I hope they come out with some sort of, I don't know, dreadnought thing, maybe, and some more of those little flying units from that kill team. Was it Gallo Dark kill team? Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. We've got one more arm. That's number 70. There it is. Alright. Alrighty. Oh, Alright. Now I need to clean up the parts. Oh, I went with the wrong hand here. The other one's the same, but no, we don't use this one on this one. Bugger. We use number 74, which looks a bit more like that. That. No, I don't see it on here. There it is. No, let's cut that out quickly. Glad I noticed that. I would have used the wrong arm for the part, which would have been a shame. And I think it's 75 we need now. Yep. Okay. Sorry. I'm just going to start cleaning up these parts now. Cleaning up the plasma axe looking doohickey. Yeah, there's a few mould lines on here. You can see like there's a little one down there. There's one that goes all the way along the blade. Clean that flat top part off. I'm not too worried about the mould line on that bit because I'm probably about to cut that off to put the little flail-like thing on the end. Let's get these. Clear up the muscle up here. Try not to cut too deep. so as not to ruin the details that have been moulded on there. Glad I noticed that I was using the wrong arm, or wrong, wrong arm, I guess. It is the arm. Before I went any further. There's a slight mould line here. I might just clean that one up. Like I've said on other kits, I'm not as worried about mould lines and things. Like, I mean, every miniature is going to have them. You can sit and spend all your time in the world, like, you know, getting rid of them all, making the model as perfect as you can. But, you know, I think life needs to be lived, and we need to not take everything too seriously. Like, if you're doing something for a competition or to really impress someone you know, like your friends or whatever, your group, or even just to impress yourself, you know, show what skills you can do, then by all means go ahead and do it, and make sure you clean them all off and make it nice and neat and wonderful. But if you've got a lot of Warhammer or a lot of miniatures and you're just trying to get through them, you know, I wouldn't worry too much. I'd make sure my heroes and special characters look, you know, pretty good. Do that on all of them, but all the troops, just I wouldn't bother too much unless it was really obvious and bad. You know, and a lot of the newer kits aren't so bad, but when the kits are older and the amount of times, like, you can tell they've been through the molding process, so to speak, like, sometimes the parts don't line up properly, and that can look messy, and that's not something anyone really wants to see. So, yeah, just something to keep in mind. Whatever you decide to do, it'll be the right decision for you. Alrighty, so that's the extra arm I cut off for no real reason. Now, oops, I keep bumping that freaking thing. Anyway, let's cut this off. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and pop. Take that off. Then I'm going to come back in and just clean this up. I actually like that little bit on the end. I think it looks really cool, and I feel a little upset actually cutting it off, but to maintain the theme, I think it's a sacrifice that I'll be willing to make. Now I've just got to have a look through what I've got of spares of them. I think they're in here by the looks of it. Now, whenever you're doing kit bashes and converting, it can be very helpful to keep your parts like aside, ready to go, already like sorted out and things of that nature. So I've got a few. I might just count what I've got left of them, just so I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I've got a few. Okay. I need a thing for one of their heads, so let's have a look. What do we got here? Not quite the same as what I've got on the other one. I'd like to have something as chunky as I've got on the other one. Maybe like that one. A little bit like that. In fact, I think that's the same one. No, it's different, but I think I'll go with that. Alrighty. Keep that aside, it won't be for this character, but that's okay. Alright. Now, which one of these will I go with? Let's see which ones are different. These two are, well, these two are the same, so that's a good contender. They're different, that's different. That one is basically this one, just without the end on it. This one's... no, that's different to that one as well. That up there, and this one's different again. Okay, so what I might do is take one of the ones that it's the same, basically, and have that on there. So what I might just do is cut that there, keep that there, move this aside, just chuck it in there for now. So that little bit, chuck it in there. So I'll just put some of my bits that I've just been working through in there, and then I sort them out off camera, and I'm done. Whoops, I'm supposed to just put that lean there. Is this one's not supposed to have something on its back? Just thinking about it. It does. Okay, so there's more to put on this character, but it's on the other page. Okay, I'll get to that. But for the meantime, we'll put the rest of it together, I think. But I'll just move all of this over there to go with the rest of the kit later. Right, now let's put these bits at least, let's put it together. So we... actually, I'm not finished cleaning this particular part up. Look at that. Wow, I really got stuck into that bit without finishing this off. Oh well, these things happen. I think everything else is done. Yeah, I just must have missed that part. Okay. So we put the first leg. We'll put that first leg in place. Nice, just like that. And then we'll put on the next. I'll just put glue along these bits, so it gets ready for the next two parts. And carefully just assign that right there, like so. And then I can come back in with the glue and follow this line along there and attach this chest piece in there. Nicely done. Now I'll probably glue it to the base, to be honest. And voila, there we are. Just move that back a bit, like that. I'll put each arm on, I think, and then I'll put the weapon on and try and work out how to put this on, because it may not be the best one for this particular character. I may have to make a different choice, I don't know. I just want to see how it works out. Now I think the arm goes on the way I've put it on. I'm not sure. I think that's how it goes on. I'm hoping that's how it goes on. That little bit, and then tiny little on that bit. Alright, let's get this. Whoop, get this in place. Make sure you're concentrating better than I am. Like seriously, I'm trying to look at the camera and trying to make sure that I'm not too out of focus at the same time as doing this. So it'd probably be easier for someone who's not trying to make a video. That I imagine would be true. Trying to use the glue without wasting anything. Yep, that's probably a bit much on there. I'll wipe off on the tissue a bit. Okay, so that goes there, and that, yeah, kind of lines up. Let's move that into place a bit more. Hey. All right, that works like that. That works like that. And there we go. So it's kind of coming down and at. So that would work, but might look a bit funny, but that's alright. I've got to clean this up as well. There's some sprue joiner bits there that I've got to smooth out and fix up. Probably should have replaced the blade on here so that it's nice and sharp and doesn't make blunted mess like I'm doing now. Yeah, so if you're doing it, make sure you've got a nice sharp blade for cleaning stuff up like this. And then you'll find you really don't have to put much pressure on at all, and it'll just move just as you want it to, with a little control. Now, I'm pretty happy with that. I just want to smooth it out so I can make a good join for this. Just curious, should I have cut it back further? No, that'll do. Right, I'll get that little bit on there. Then we'll put that down for a second. Alright, now that's like that. Just stick it on. Just hold it in place. Actually, just thinking about it, that's where the backpack might be. So I might actually raise it because she's pushing it back down. Should it be down or should it be up? I actually don't think it would be even turned in that direction if she was actually moving like this, but I think it'll look better up like that for the minute because she's trying to avoid it hitting her. Yeah, it's not the most sensible of conversions, admittedly, but it looks cool, I think, and that's what I go for. The rule of cool. That's the most important thing when it comes to kit bashing in my hobby. The rule of cool. Sometimes helps if it makes, you know, sense in the lore somehow, or, you know. But yeah, do what you like. Do what makes you happy. If you think it looks good, do it. You know, it's your miniature, it's your model. Once you've paid for it and you've walked out of the store, it's yours. You know, and once you build it, truly make it your own. That's what I think. By all means, though, if you rather just follow Games Workshop steps and things like that, yeah, just do it. If that's what makes you happy, do that. But yeah, just remember they are your miniatures once you buy them, and you can play them how you want, right? And you can build them how you want. You can model them how you want. That's the great thing about this hobby. It really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks or says. It's what you do and how that makes you feel. Yeah, nothing else really matters. To borrow from Metallica. Okay, I'm just going to check what I've got to do for the little backpack and the little cables and things that go on the back here of this particular model. This is basically what I've got to do here, this little section. So we need 76. Well, that's this one. Makes it nice and easy. 77 and 78. Okay. 77 is this one with all the cables. Now be very careful with bits like this, with the cables and stuff. On the ones I was building over here before, there was a couple that snapped when trying to, you know, file sprue gate bits down and things. Just, you know, they're very thin, so you can just glue it back in place, but just be careful. It is very small detail you're working with there. And it is disappointing, ultimately, when you do damage something. You're just like, oh, blast, you know. And you'll wish you hadn't have damaged it. But that's just how that is. Alright. Now, I'm just going to clean this little bit up first, the small one. Get it over and done with. Now, I'm just very gently moving around it just to make it as smooth as possible without putting too much pressure for the cutting of these little sprue-gatey bits and stuff off. Because you put a tiny little bit too much pressure, it'll just snap these thin parts. So just use your discretion and be very gentle. It's not so hard to do. Alright. There we are. Okay, that's all nice. Now the tricky one, the one with all the little bits. Oh boy, I'll start on this slightly thicker part. And just try to do that and not fill in that gap with stuff. And just gently take that back and that'll help define the part. Got this little... Oh, I can feel this one trying to bend. Bit tricky. Just be very gentle. Firm but gentle. A little flexible. There we go. That's about as good as I think I'm going to get. So I'll sit that down. Or rather, I'll do that. Mind you, you should probably always put the cover on this on these blades when you're not using them, because you don't want to accidentally bump or put your arm down and cut yourself or something. I know I have to remind myself to do that from time to time. It appears that this end goes in here on an angle like that. There we are. Goes like that. Oops, didn't mean to bump the camera there. But that's how that goes on. You see there, it's all there. And you can either let that dry for a little bit. I'd probably recommend that, but no, in fact I will recommend that. But I'm in a hurry. I've been wanting to finish this kit for about 3 months. So to finally get around to finishing these things off is wonderful, and I really just want it done. Whoops. Stop dropping everything. So I'll try and get that just in place. Silly thing. It's gotten stuck on there. There we are. Right. And you stupid. See what I mean by, you know, if I'd left it a little bit, it probably would have been better. Oh well. There we are, that's close enough. There we go. Now, this keeps falling right where I don't want it to fall, so I'm just going to turn that on an angle like this. Put in some glue where that attaches to the back, and then try to put glue on each of these other points where those cables connect. Alright. One. To me, it's kind of funny. They look a little bit like nipples. These little joins, but it's just something that helps. So there, I think. Now let's see, that one's this. Well, I'm assuming it's that one, is it? Yes, that one as well. So there's that one, that one, that one. You can see the little yellow dots on your instructions, so you can know which which ones you're supposed to put the glue on. And I find if you've put the glue on already onto the spots, that makes it a lot easier for those cables, which it is pretty well designed. Like, I mean, like, they do line up pretty well, so long as you've built the model fairly accurately. Yeah, so it's not that much of a stretch to try and push them down or anything like that. This one is a bit, admittedly, it's being a little tricky. Fricker. There we go. Let's put that little bit on. Just try and get it to dry in place where I want it. See, now that can just have that little bit done to it to an angle, and there we go. There we go. Now, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, that's looking good, that's looking good. They're both looking alright. There we are. Again, I got some more glue on the damn thing. Anyway, that's the Berserk that will replace the mole one I took from the first squad that I made, as it turns out. So I'm just gonna move her over to her squad now. She needs to be undercoated like the rest of them. I didn't bother picking up the little moles, grenade things, and sitting them with the squad. They're in my box just over to my left. I won't bother getting them out and showing because, like, you know, what's the point? Anyway, now I've got the rest of these to make. Okay. So we've got 4 other Berserks. Let's have a little look at them. Right. I think that's just got the other ones bits, so I won't need that for now, I don't think. Right, let's start back at the beginning, shall we? Okay. I'll leave my instructions right there so I can work out what I'm doing. Now it says to start with, you know, 1, 2 and 3. Well, that seems pretty sensible to me. So let's start with, well, funnily enough, number 2. Oops. Cutting that out. Alright. 3. What's this one? Number 1 appears to be the chest piece. Oh, I didn't see that little connector there. Let's move that out of the way. Let's sit there. So, cut these out. Alrighty. Now I've already got the one in the squad with the fists, and I'm going to put this on its head at some stage. So I'll move that in front of it and just sit it there. For the meantime, this one will have to be different from the other. So I'm going to have to use one of the different heads. I might use number 12, because I don't think I've used 12 yet. If I can see it. Is it really number 12? There's 13. There's 12. Okay. Alright, let's put this one on. And yeah. 10 and 4. Is it 10 and 4? Or is it? No, it's not. It's 6, 5 and 7. Okay. 6, 5 and 7. Let's have a little look-see. There's 6. Alright. 7 is clearly the end of this. And number 5 appears to be this one here. So we'll cut this hammer out. Alrighty. Okay, so got those cut out. Now, I don't know which one of these I'll go with, but I think I might just cut the bits for his backpack off first, actually. Number 10. Before I cut the main bit, just get that little bit so I don't cut it and stuff it. I'll try not to. Turn the page. We need number 11, it appears. That just goes straight on over it. Well, that's convenient. I don't have to put an extra tiny little piece in. I just clean this up and put it over. That's nice. Alright. Now, is that all I need for him? I believe so. Alright, let's do that. So I'll begin to clean the mini. Now I'm wondering if anyone else out there has the Cthonian Beserks and what they think of them. I think they're personally pretty cool. Now, I'm not saying that they're the most perfect miniature out there. You know, I kind of would have preferred, I think, a little bit more like armor, like little bits of, like, you know, something on their shoulder, something on their this. I don't mind them showing their chests off. That's fine. That's quite dwarfy. However, I do think that they could do with a bit more little armoured bits on or something, but, you know, I still think they look great. Yeah, but I didn't design them, after all, so it's not like I get any say or input in how they're made. Let's clean up all the parts. Get them ready for gluing. Okay. Yes. There we are. Let's clean these up. Alright. Hey, anybody done any kit bashes with theirs? Or any conversions? Or, you know, I've seen a few on the internet myself, just doing, you know, general research and that, because I always look up and see, whenever I have an idea, pretty much, whenever I have an idea for converting or kit bashing, like even if I come up with it myself sort of thing, I'll check on the net and just see, because quite often you get sort of a convergence of thoughts, I guess, where some people will think in a very similar way and do something similar. And if it's already been done, you know, seeing a picture or a video or anything of that work having been done just sort of reinforces, you know, that, oh, it can be done, you know, that you can do it. So what if someone's already done it? You know, like, you can still do it. own it your own way, or even, you know, implement something a little bit different just so it is still, you know, your idea entirely. But either way, it doesn't matter. Even if you take someone else's cool idea, just probably better that you remind people that it wasn't originally your idea, if that's the case. But it's not like the idea police come after you and say, no, you can't say that's yours. Alrighty. Like I say, kit bashing and converting is my favourite part of the hobby. It really is. Even something just as simple as a weapon swap, head swap, anything, you name it. Now, if anyone has any ideas for some sort of unit or something that they'd like to see me give a try of a kit bash to, or a conversion tutorial or something about, let me know in the comments below. I may not be able to do every idea, but you never know, I might be able to do some of them. Or something similar. So yeah, it'd be nice if you could let me know, of my subscribers. And on that note, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Give us a like, and hit that notification bell. It's very important. To me, anyway. Maybe not to you, but it's definitely important to me. And I think I've forgotten to cut out an arm. Yep, I think I've missed an arm. Where's that? It's 4. Number 4. Okay. I didn't cut out number 4. Right. I remember seeing that. It was on one of the sides, wasn't it? Or was it? No, there it is in the middle. Take that, and voila. We'll just clean that up. Obviously there are more streamlined ways you could make these, like you could take out the parts for each of the characters sort of thing, put them in front of their base and then clean them all up at once, so you're not constantly dropping things down, picking things up and switching between the tools and stuff. That would speed things up for people if time is, well, for everyone I suppose time is a precious commodity, but if it's extra precious for you, that's something you could do to limit the amount of time that this might take. But if you're not fussed and it's all good and taking your time and having those little breaks between switching between things, if that helps you, then cool, do it that way. I'm only doing it this way at the moment to make sure the desk isn't too cluttered for the video. But yeah, normally I would do things in a sort of a production line / conveyor belt sort of manner, have everything out and lined up, ready to go, especially if I'm familiar with the kit. Like if it's a new kit and I've never built it before, I may do them one by one, just to get an idea of like where the parts are on the sprue, a few other little reasons, but yeah, just little things like that. Alrighty, get that in place, stick that. You annoying thing. Is that even the right way? I'm probably not even doing that the right way. I don't know. Shit. 4, no, 10, yeah, it goes up the other way. I should have realised that. So that goes there. Like that. That's a bit better. Okay. Then that goes in on either side like this. So we'll some glue here on this, just around the bits where it joins. Careful not to put too much because you don't want that overflowing, especially where all these fine details and bits where you can't really hide the damage you might do to the muscle tissue and stuff on the arms. Like, it's a little harder to fix that up if you damage the details a bit much. So just be careful. And again, everything's lining up pretty well, which is good. That's what you want. You want it to line up and everything to stick where it's supposed to, and securely too, which is good. There we go. Now I'll stick his little head on. Stick that in place. Alright, there we go. There he is. All his Cthonian Berserk glory. I keep wanting to say Berserkers all the time. That's all I want to say. Cthonian Berserkers, but they're Beserks. They're not Berserkers. I think I may have mentioned that in the last video when I did the original unboxing. I may have even mentioned it in the one where I had spray painted these guys to my left. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I would have brought it up. Because it keeps getting me. I keep wanting to say Berserkers, but that's not quite right. I'll just turn that around. That way he's more centered. There we are. Now, which one of these shall I go with? I think that one. Because he's about to swing it round and then pull it down. Do you think that looks good like that, or should we go with this one? I don't think so. This one? No, I think this one. I think that's the one. Alright. Again, I need to clean this Fyreslayer spare part up a bit, make sure I get all the things off of it, make it nice and ready to be attached. Yeah. Now, I understand that videos like this probably work better as a live stream, and I would intend to do that, and I hope I will be doing that in the future. It's just, you know, might want to build up my subscribership a little bit before I start announcing times for people to come and, you know, watch a live stream. And I think I'd prefer that too, like, you know, doing the live stream, because then I can communicate more directly with people watching. And we can, you know, sit down and do basically what everyone's been doing for years, hobby hangouts. And that I enjoy. I myself sit down, even when I can't watch a hobby hangout live from some of my favourite YouTubers, I'll sit down and watch it afterwards and work on my stuff at the same time. It's always been a favourite. Sitting down, catching up on what's going on and stuff. And look, how well did that glue in place? I didn't even have to barely hold it. We'll put glue on the other side. Like, that's just really attached there. That's that I think is really nice. It's done that. There you go. So you can see it sort of curves around from behind. And yeah, I really like the look of that. Set him down, move him to his squad. There we are. 3 more. Alright. I don't know why I keep putting the glue so far away each time. It's not going to make that big a difference. Let's move on to the next set of instructions. There we go. Now we need 22, 23 and 25. Yep, I see them. And 24 as well. Yep, 24, 25. Yeah, that's about, I think that's right. Let's get these parts out. $22. $23. Oop. I'd contemplated actually doing a painting tutorial video and stuff on like a long one and a short one. Full process and, you know, a quick one to watch. For these Beserks over here, the pre-undercoated ones and that, but then I realised, you know, I needed to fix the guy for this squad or the girl for this squad, the mole launcher thing, and then still build these other ones. So I was like, I may as well wait until that's done, then I can do all of them at once, and I think that would be more sensible. Let's get these couple of backpack parts, 31 and 32, off, just because of how much it's annoying me doing that part in front of the camera. I'm just doing it slightly off camera. You can still see the parts I've put down there. Okay. They're right there. So at least you can see that. What else do we want? We want the hammer and the arm. So 27, I believe. Yeah, 27, 28. So the hammer's parts. 28. Right. And the other arm is number 26, is it? Is that the only one it needs? Apparently. It's 26, there it is. Yeah, that must go into something. There's another bit. Alright. Now I've got to clean these up. And get them ready to be assembled. Let's clean these up. I've got so many things to work on here. So many things I can make videos for, which is good, I guess, if I'm making a YouTube channel. It's probably useful. And I hope that they'll be useful to you. I've got a lot of Space Marine, Tau, Orc, Eldar, Imperial Guard, Inquisition, stuff when it comes to 40k. I've got a bit of Necrons and a bit of Tyranids, so you'll see them too in due course. However, when it comes to Age of Sigmar, you'll probably see a lot of Cities of Sigmar, Kitbashes and Counters models and vids. You'll probably also see quite a lot of Fyreslayer and Caradron Overlord vids. Some Stormcast, and yeah, that's mostly my armies for Age of Sigmar. I'd like to get into some Necromunda and actually like for Necromunda and make a proper Necromunda team. I think I'd go with squats. So I'd have to buy some more iron, what do they call it, iron head squat prospectors or something. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, there'll be lots of little kit bashes and stuff to showcase as time goes on. And I'm really excited to see what other people think of some of these kit bashes that I've done over the years. Be nice to get that feedback. Got a few other little ideas and projects up in the old noggin. So hopefully soon enough there'll be plenty of content on the channel and we'll all be able to see what it is I love the most about the hobby. Like I say, kit bashing and converting. Customizing things, making it my own, or you making it your own. That's the best, I think. Yeah. But I can understand, you know, some of my mates who are into the hobby too, some of them love kit bashes and converting and stuff, but they themselves aren't very good like coming up with ideas and stuff, so they, you know, feel a little discouraged sometimes from doing it. And I always try to tell them, like, no, just do it. Just, you know, like I said before myself, like, look at the internet, see what other people have done. Even if you don't come up with the idea initially, like, just have a look, see what other people have done, see what's possible. It can give you inspiration. Even if you're not going to do what they did, or you're using different miniatures and a different kits, just the idea of what they've tried to use or the process they've used to do it could be all that it takes. You know, just to help you get some sort of idea of what you're doing and what you want to do and how you can achieve it. Because it's not that difficult. Everyone could kit bash. It's just maybe not everyone has the availability of parts and things to do some of it. I think, really, I think that's one of the biggest stepping stones in this sort of thing, or roadblocks, is that sometimes you need parts from other kits, and the hobby's expensive enough as it is to buy, you know, just your regular kits. And buying something extra for the sake of a head or the sake of a weapon swap can, to the uninitiated, so to speak, seem a little daunting, or perhaps even wasteful. But I'd say fear not. There are ways and means. Sometimes you can get spare parts from your friends. Sometimes you can get spare parts online pretty cheaply. You know, so you don't have to buy the whole kit of something else just to get, you know, a cool part. Like, the only reason I have these parts here for the that I'm using on the Beserks is because I have the guys with the guns in my Fyreslayers army. I can't remember what they're called, half guard something or other or something. They like, I've got ones with these as well, and with the long axes, but I also have the ones with the guns, and these are the spares from that. You know, so just by having this Age of Sigmar army, I have the spare parts to use years later on my now Leagues of Votann, which I think is pretty cool. There we are. Make sure you put it on the right way around. I had that upside down then. Wondered why it wasn't sticking. It's just like, oh, something's not right here. that in. Let's put a little glue there. Oh, I didn't clean that last bit on there very well, did I? Bugger. So this is something, if you're not trying to make a video and you're not rushing things due to certain deadlines, you probably would have noticed that yourself. I didn't quite clean the little sprue gate on that little pipe all that well, so I just had to go back over it. I did do a bit on it, but just not well, it appears. So now I can put this in place. I believe this like that. There we are. I'll glue it to the base and I'll find out what head I want to use. Let's try and stand that up right a bit. And there we are. Okay, now what head am I going to use? There's 33, 34, and 35. I do like the ones with the, like, the sort of like techie faces, the ones with the, like, replaced eye socket and things like that. I think they look pretty sweet. But I would like it to be a little different from the last squad, just so that they're not all the same. And I think that's that one, and he's not using that head, so I'll use that head. That'll do. Went with 34, in case anyone's interested. It's head number 34. A bit hard to see. There. You can see he's got on one side there on the left, or on the left as you see it, but on his right hand side, his right eye, is clearly replaced with some sort of advanced bionics. Let's clear the stuff up on the head there. Right. I was initially hoping to kitbash some of these as well to have beards and stuff, but like bigger ones, more dwarfy sort of looking. But given that there's the women there too, I was like, you know what, I might leave it, just because I didn't have something as immediate to do for them to make them look special. I didn't particularly want to give them beards. Now on the other one that's similar, we'll just have a look. Which flail have I gone with? No, it's not that one. It's more like that one. No, it's actually, I think it's like that one. No, I don't have an example of it there. Oh well, that's okay. I might just go with this one. No? No. That's not going to work. Maybe if I cut that bit off and then have that. No, still not right. Oh, if that was up, that would be perfect. It's not, so I might go with this one, actually. Yeah, alright. Let's cut this back at that bit, just like that. And just clean this up, clear that off, get the little bits of plastic out of the way. Nice and clean. Off that, put a bit of glue on. Get that nice and soft. Try and sit that up right like that. Put a tiny bit on the back here too. Just give that now a minute or so, and then I should be able to join those quite simply. Alright, let's get that like that, and just attach, try and get it to just start to stick together. It's moving, so maybe if I just like that, hold it still. Oh, don't make the mistakes I keep making, forgetting to clean up these spare parts. See, the thing is, I used to actually clean up all my spare parts before, like, so when I go to use them the next time, so to speak, when I actually want to use them for something, they're already cleaned up. I clearly didn't do that with the with these dwarf parts, and I have to admit, I've stopped doing it a bit over the last probably 12 months, or 2 years, almost 24 months. Been a bit lazy at times. But if you knew how many spare parts and stuff I had, you'd probably be like, yeah, no, I couldn't be stuffed doing it neither. While that's in movement, there we go. That's him. And he does have a different head to the other guy, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can tell. But, yeah, different heads for what is basically the same mini. I'll put him at the back there, and I'll put this one closer to the front here. Alright, then we've got to move on to the second last one. I'm going to go for parts 37, 36, and 38. That's part 38, if anyone's interested. 37. 36. And then I'll go for 39 by the looks of it, if I can see it. There it is. Right. $47 for the head. 42, 41, and 40 for the weapon. So 42. I just can't see where 41 is. There it is. Alrighty. Now I've got those parts. And what else is there? 45 and 46. That's just 2 parts for that. Nice. 45. There's that. Bang. Bang. And 46. Okay. There we go. Alright. Now let's put it together after I clean up the parts again. Yeah. I'm looking forward to anything else they bring out for these Leagues of Votann. I hope there's a, like I said before, if you're watching, I hope they bring out some sort of little dreadnought unit, or like extra armored suit thing, or Ironkin warrior suit thing, or something like that. I really think that'd be cool, similar to the like the exosuit that the squats have, but you know, a little bit from Forge World, but a little bit more advanced, shall we say, a little bit more of a threat to the enemy. Really like that. They could come out with something like that. It'd be good too, like if the flying units, if they came in squads of say 5 or 10 or something like that. But I've got a weird sneaking suspicion that they may be, when they come out, squads of 3 or squads of 6. I fear that happening. That may be unjustified. I may be completely wrong there. They may not do that, but I think that would be a shame if it went that way. Be cool if there was another vehicle, some sort of flyer, perhaps, or a trailer for the land fortress. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, what do you think? What are they going to come up with? Or what have they come up with that they just haven't released yet? What rumours have people heard? What things would they like? Would you like? Like, you know, what things would you wish to be the case? Regardless of rumour. Regardless of fact. What do you think would be cool? Be nice to know. Mention in the comments below. We can always have a discussion. I read all the comments, and I will always endeavour to get back to people as soon as I'm able. But, you know, like with anything, everything I say is my opinion, and doesn't have to be your opinion, and your opinion does not have to be the same. We can disagree, that's fine. Each to their own. But yeah, I'd like to hear what people think. What they'd like to see. Be interesting. Interesting to discuss. Has anyone out there been using their Cthonian Beserks, by the way, in battle? If so, how are they finding them? Finding them fun? Finding them useful? Or a bit squishy? Perhaps. I find them, you know, a bit squishy. I had a muck around game with a mate, and it I did lose, admittedly, but I wasn't discouraged. I just thought, oh, okay, righto, you know, got to be a little bit more thoughtful of how I use them, but that's alright. These things happen. Can't always win. And if we always won, the risk you know, of winning, losing, that whole thing. Like, it'd just be a bit sucky, I think, if we won all the time. Because then we'd always know what the outcome is, and there'd be no challenge. Let's glue him together. Him, her, they, them, whatever that is. Let's glue it together. Try and get those bits at the back to line up first. There we are. Alrighty. Ooh, I didn't quite clean up that foot. Back of that foot there. That's back of that boot. Whoops. I'm supposed to put the glue on this side of the foot, not the back side, the fucking front side. That was silly of me. Please excuse, sometimes I might have some occasional swearing that comes through. I apologise. I am a filthy-mouthed Australian, and not saying I'm entirely proud of being filthy-mouthed, but I'm certainly proud of being Australian. So if that bugs you, you're probably on the wrong channel. Well, if you don't mind it, then yeah, cool. Welcome. Have a good one. Yeah, let's get that in there. Come on. Yeah, I'm there. That's what I'm doing wrong. See, what would be smart, really, if you're building these, it'd be to do what I was doing with some of the other ones, where you just build the dudes or the characters, the miniatures, all in like a process, so that way while that's drying you're working on the other one and you're not removing or, you know, pushing things around that need to stay stuck together. Making sure that everything gets a nice good bond. I'm just checking this. Did I go over it with the knife well enough? I don't think I did. So I'm just gonna tidy up a bit more if I can without damaging it too much. This, if anything, this is the bit that I hate the most about these miniatures, is having to clean up these pipes from the screw gates. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes while I'm doing this, I'll just get into the zone sort of thing in my head where I'm working on something, and I'll start thinking about something, and I'll just worry that I'm talking to myself out loud or something. Which would sound wonderful on a video, you know, if I just start talking about, you know, what shopping I've got to do, or, you know, oh geez, we're running out of cauliflower. I better get some cauliflower. Or think, you know, God knows what I come out with, you know. I notice as I'm getting older, I do talk to myself a little bit. So, especially now, I live quite alone, so there's not too many people to talk to. Again, like I said before, I think making these minis on a live stream as a hobby hangout would be so much better, because I could have that interaction and I could actually talk with people instead of trying to think of everything to say and forgetting that I'm on camera and then talking to myself. And that the microphone's like right next to me. And any little mumble I say is probably being picked up. Anywho, I think that's looking pretty good. Now I've got to pick what goes on the back here. I don't think it'll be that one. I think that's too tight. I think that's a bit too tight. I don't know about that one neither. I'm thinking I'll just go with this, if anything, actually. This one. Yeah. That's what I'm going to go with. So again, I'm just going to cut it along the chain in a similar fashion to what I'd been doing before. Except I thought, I may as well show you this actually. See the little dangling runes? I'm just going to cut this one here off. Just because it's a bit close to where it's got to join with the hammer. And they've, oh no, he's fallen over. Maybe he got a little drunk or something. It sounds dwarvy. Dwarvy thing to do. Just checking it for things that I need to clean off, like that there, around the flame. There's usually a couple of things up on the flame or around the, I don't know what you call it, little cauldron, or that's not a cauldron, but freaking little thing that the fire's sitting in. Smooth that out a bit and take that bit off there and that off there. That little bit. So, back up it. Right, and then we can just go. Like I said, a bit of glue just on this surface. Right, I might just use that to just make sure that's not sitting on the bench. Okay. Just a little glue. Oops. Just on the end of that hammer. And there we are. Oh! There had to be one that wasn't going to be as easy as the others, didn't there? Otherwise this would be too easy of a job. Alright, let's get that there. See, this is why it's good, like I said, to be patient and to wait. Just give it that little bit, put the glue on each end, wait about 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds in some cases. It also depends on which plastic glue you're using, which polystyrene cement. I tend to use the Revel or whatever, however it's pronounced. That's my glue of choice for plastic. Games Workshop's one is fine, but I just find that I prefer this one. So I don't mind. Like sometimes it's, at least here in Australia, it's about $1 more than Games Workshop's glue, and it used to be cheaper. It used to be the cheap option, as well as the good option, in my opinion. But now it's more just the good option, not the cheap. But that's all right. I'm not going to complain about that. Now I've got to build the last one for the squad, because I'm not going to build the other Ironkins for the squad unless it turns out in the rules I've misread something or something and you have to have them as well. I don't think you do. I think you can choose not to have it. And I won't have the extra one if I can, and that way I have a couple of bodies I can do some cool things with, which you might see later on. Cool little Kitbash video for some extra brock here, if that's what they're called. Yeah, I've got a cool idea for some demiurge looking versions of the Votann. Now, I think of, obviously, as the Codex says, that that's just another name that the leagues have been known as. In my case, I'll make some that look a little bit more like they've recently been working with the Tau. And I think that'll be cool. Anyway, I won't bother mentioning all the numbers for the parts on this one because it's just obvious. It's the last bits. So I'll get these out. They're in the 50s. I think that's all I'll need to say. Get these out. I know that the backpack on this one is the one I dislike the most putting together. It'll be the fourth one of them I've put together, and it's so annoying. Yeah, at least in my opinion. What we got? 63, 64, and 65 for the heads. Which ones do I like? I don't have many that don't have the sort of mechanical stuff going on, so I might put on some regular faces. Anyway, let's get that. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I apologise for that burp and any other subsequential ones I might do. I've actually been quite unwell, and yeah, I've had sort of flu sort of thing, plus stomach upset and all that, so wouldn't be surprised if it was the Rona or something of that nature. But, well, we all have to learn to live with that being the norm now. Or the norm for some time now, really. Now, I'll show you what I mean about how and why I can't stand this backpack. See that? 61, 62, which has got, that's like a little three-pronged thing. There's a little arm that comes here on the right, and there's one on the left, and there's a little bit at the back. Sorry, where the two cables sort of join. That's tricky to get in place and balance in between these. At the same time, you've got this one which is really long, and it's got all these little joins, like a little thing down here, and then the ones here and here. It gets tricky to hold, and my fingers aren't very big, so I imagine people with even bigger fingers would have even more of a time putting that together. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this bit. 61. Let's just make sure that's cut out carefully. 62. Now, there it is. There's that tiny little part. There's one other bit, isn't there? Yeah, there it is. 60. Of course. Alrighty. Okay. I think I need to get an arm or arms. Is there an arm that I was supposed to cut out that I've missed? Yes. 55. Where's 55? There it is. There's no arm on the other end. No, it's part of the mini. Alright. The other parts. There we are. Let's clean these up. And then I can put him together. And then that's the box. You know, that's that done. Then I'll have to, off screen, some stage, put those spare parts in my Votann bits box. I haven't done much of sorting out my spare parts for Votann, mostly because I had a couple of little squad projects not quite finished, and I kind of wanted to finish them off before I was like, okay, I'm done with these parts now, I can put them in here. Yeah, we'll see how we go. It's always good to sort out your bits, your spare bits, that way you have them at hand easily when you need them. And if you're a Kitbash or convertaholic like me, yeah, it's crucial. Now I find this bit tricky. It's so freaking small, and if you just bump that with your thumb or something, too much pressure the wrong way or something, it just snaps. I think I snapped the last two that I built. The first one I was alright with, but the other two I had some trouble. I'm just checking I got all of that. Yeah, I did. Okay. Has anyone checked out number 6 minis? It's got some wonderful examples of some kit bashes similar to what I was doing, and that I'll showcase later myself on my channel here. But if you want to have a look at some really cool Votann kit bashed out of the Ironhead squats from Necromunda, check out number 6 minis. It's got a lovely tutorial on how to do it, and he also painted them up in a nice video too, and they look great. They really look great. And at the time, I was literally waiting for parts that, or not parts, but the kits to turn up to make a video very similar, doing that very sort of thing. And there are some differences to what I've done, but I mean, basically for intents and purposes, the same sort of thing. And yeah, he beat me to it, which did make me feel a little disheartened, I must admit. But at the same time, I was so overjoyed with the inspiration at the same time, because it just, I'm like, yep, it can be done. It's not so difficult. I didn't think it would be, to be honest, but how effective it looks and how good they look like in the army, like it works, I think. So it was good to get that confirmation before trying something so new. And yeah, it's good to see somebody else doing something like that in the Votann sphere. Orion's Belt Minis as well, check her out. She's got some wonderful paint jobs on her her minis there, on her Votann. I really like what she's done. I wish I had that sort of skill and patience to do the level of painting and blending and stuff that she does on hers. I think they look absolutely fantastic. And I feel like a bit of a bum, I must admit, when I, you know, she was working on these whilst pregnant and all this other stuff, and it's just like, far out. I can't even do that, and I don't have, you know, a pregnancy to, you know, be concerned about or anything, or any worries, and you know, she's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant work. Now let's get this last Berserk. Well, I'm getting better at thinking of them as Berserks rather than Berserkers. Alrighty. We're getting there. Getting there. That's the other thing I worry about just thinking about it. Like when I was saying before, I talk to myself a bit, getting older. I start playing tunes to myself, like just do like music or something, and one of these days they'll probably be copyrighted or something. You're like, oh, you can't hum that tune. That's too well known. Craziness of the world, eh? That may be an exaggeration. That may not happen, but I mean, it is something that I think about and think, shit, I don't want to cause trouble with that. How is this not... How am I getting this wrong? What am I doing wrong here? What's not working for it? Oh shit, it's meant to be further up. I see. My bad. There we are. Okay. I think I'm going to put this on first before I put the weapon in place. Just because I've got a sneaky suspicion that it's not going to be that easy. Crap, which way around is this meant to be? That way, yeah. Okay. Oh boy. See, the bit I find trickiest is this little bit here. Gotta go there and there, there. Let's just put the glue in this bit just entirely. Just get it all ready. It saves a bit of time later. But the tricky bit is, if you put too much glue on, like there, for instance, like it'll get rid of the softened little bits that are there to sort of help guide where this goes. If you put too much glue in, it'll wreck that, because it'll just eat it away. So you want to be, you want to be sensible, but at the same time you want to be careful. You don't want to do the wrong thing with it. Now, which bit goes at the top? The one. And then they go underneath. Okay. Let's try and get this right. And that there. I actually think the way I'm building this particular backpack this time is actually probably a better way to do it. Put it on the back, put the little bit on there so it holds onto those bits, and then you can put this one on, and it goes onto the arm joints like that, and you got it nice in place. Because if you try to put it all together separate and then put it onto the model, I think you find that the backpack's like pipes and bits move around a bit, and you don't really want them doing that. And like I said, if you put too much glue on, it'll damage the sort of the key, so to speak, to hold it in place, and it'll just mean that you've just got to hold it in position a little more, perhaps. Because that went on the easiest out of any of the other ways I've attempted it. I'm really glad that I did that a different way. And I would have forgotten, exactly how I did the other ones. I just remember it being really a pain. But that one wasn't so bad that time. I guess I just worked out a smarter way. And I suppose I was paying more attention this time, just being aware of how much of a pain that was last time. Or the last few times. Alright. Yeah. Probably should have put the head on, maybe. Yeah, Just clear that off, any of that. If you take a part off that you've just put on with plastic glue, sometimes you get that sort of stringy-like effect of basically little filaments of plastic or glue just all over the place. Just wipe it down, remove it, so you don't get that spider webbing look, which is never really what you want, unless you're doing something with spiders, perhaps. Could be useful for the, what are they, those goblin things from Age of Sigmar, Warhammer Fantasy, the ones that ride the spiders and stuff. Could be useful for that, or for those chaos spidery things. You could probably do that deliberately with those and do something really cool, but for the most part, I imagine you don't want spider webbing. Alright. Now, I personally think this video has gone on for long enough. Really has, in my opinion. It's gone on for a bit. There, that's a bit better. If that's going to sit on one foot like that, I'll probably need a little bit more on the base. Let's give it a minute. If that doesn't want to stick. Just hold it still. But yeah, I think the video's gone on quite a long time. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of video all up by the end of this. I could be wrong, I could be overestimating or underestimating, but I think it's been a while. So, hey, let's see, how am I going to do this guy's one? I made a short one on the other one. So there's already one that's left its thing. Should I just... Okay. Don't know. Maybe it should be that one. No, that is the same as that one anyway. Maybe... Maybe it should be that. No, I don't think so. I think it's going to have to be this one, to be honest. I just want to cut where it's at back to the middle of that particular bit of chain, just to make sure it cuts exactly as I want. I'm going to cut that bit off, just so that's a smoother spot. Gives you a little bit more surface area with which to glue the part, as you can see. You get a flatter surface, a bit more of it. Now I'll put a dab of glue just here on this bit. Another dab of glue right there. And I'm just going to sit it here for a minute or a few seconds. Actually, I should be more mindful of the fact that I still haven't cleaned up the flame or the brazier or whatever the hell the little thing is that holds it. I think I've called it a cauldron before. Oh jeez, I just don't know what it's called. Yes, that's clean. Alright. There's nothing else on the actual machine. No. Alright. Set that down. Now, should it come down this side or that side? I think this side. Oh jeez. Whoa, it swivels a bit. Get it on that angle if I can. Just sort of get it like that. Hold it out. Just trying to see how that looks on the back of there. It looks okay. It's reasonably centered. I just need it at an angle. Like that, right? Actually, like that. Maybe. Just hold it still. Maybe that way will help a bit more. There we go. That's close enough. And there we go. There's the last one. And this is how I kitbash / convert my Cthonian Beserks for the Leagues of Votann. Yeah. Now, really, there's one more thing I should do. No, here's the wrong one. Whoops. What was I thinking? He's the one. The one with the fists. Alright. So, what I intend to do with this guy, basically, is to put this on his head. But I need to cut it down to size and make it fit better. So I'm thinking on this part here, let's have a look at its natural sort of state. Now it's a bit hard to tell with that. Let's find something else I can put it on the back of, perhaps. On that, maybe. Can you tell when I do this? No. Never mind. Basically, on this part, at the back here, you can see these little light sort of bits of hair that stick out and down before they start turning up in this direction. And I think what I need to do is cut between and cut this bottom bit off. So it sort of goes like that. So there'd be that much of it cut off. So I'm just going to do that. Not too worried about how it looks on either side. Not as worried about that right now. I'll worry about it when I need to. Now, just to make it sit right, there's a tiny little horn there. I'm just going to... Like, there's like some sort of little... When I say horn, like I mean like some sort of little spiky bit that comes out of the side here. I'm just going to cut the hair bits out and away gently, just so it's not such a flat bit. And so that's clearly, you know, modelled to be a particular way, and then you can just cut that and cut into and up to about, say, this hair here. And then that looks a little bit more reasonable than it did before. Right, okay, I'm very happy with that. So now I'm just going to clean the rest of the inside of this. I'd already cleaned it partially because I'd attempted perhaps to use this part before on another one, and it didn't quite work out, so give it a try on this. Now let's see how that might sit. A little better. That's still not great. As you can see, there's some gaps, some imperfections there. I'd really like to sort that out. So what I might need to do is take this little bump off the top of his head, just gently. Well, my clippers are pretty sharp, so unfortunately you can get most of that off in one little go. Smooth it out. I can always fill the gap with some putty and stuff, which I probably will have to do on this one. Yeah, I think I will have to. But that's okay. These things happen. Oh, shit. I wasn't expecting that. That wasn't what I was expecting to have happen when I said these things happen. Anyway, I was just noticing there was a bit of a gap between the plug there and the arm where it joined, and I was like, oh, I mustn't have held that together long enough or something. You know, I'll fix that with putty later myself. And just in doing that, it freaking breaks. Breaks the whole arm off. like, whoops. So what I'll do is I'll just fix it up a bit, glue it back in place, and as you can see, look, that didn't join up very well when I did it before, so I'll fix that up later. Anyway, let's get on with this. Just glue this head in place, or head piece rather, in place, and then later on I'll fill the gaps and make it look a little bit more appropriate for the model. Now, how far forward did I lean the other one? Let's have a look. Fairly centered, but fairly forward. So let's try and get that level. The head. Got this little bit of crap stuck in my glue there. Let's get that off. Get that spider webbing. And there we are. I'll fill those gaps off camera. And yeah, because that's just simple. I'll do a video about gap filling and stuff one day. If you don't already know how to do it, it's pretty standard and straightforward. Now I'll put these spare parts away and let's have a look at them. There they are. Plasma axe wielders and hammer wielders, all with these wonderful sort of flail looking things. Like, look at that one, that's the curled back one. I like that. I really like the look of that. But yeah, just something I thought I'd do to my Leagues of Votann, keeping with the sort of Fyreslayer-y parts and occasional Caradron Overlord parts and stuff that I throw in to the mix. In these cases it's mostly, or it is all Fyreslayer parts. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think they look good? Do you think they look shit? Do you think it was a dumb idea? Like, I'm curious. Very curious to know what people think. I found it a lot of fun, regardless, putting these together and you know, putting the little things on them. It was an idea I had from before I even brought the kit, before I even had the book. Just seeing them on the web page, on Games Workshop's web page, I was just like, oh, I know what I want to do with them. I want to give them mohawks. I'm going to give them the flail things, and I'm going to give them beards. But I guess I didn't do the beards. That's okay though. So there we go. 2 squads of 10, each with each of the weapons options, the hammers and the axes. And yeah, I'm very happy with how they've turned out. And I really look forward to undercoating the rest and getting them all painted up. Now that will be another video, getting that done. Hopefully it'll be shorter than this one. Even if it takes longer to do. Yeah, at least it'll be a shorter watch. I thank you all very much for your time and coming and checking us out here at Griffinix Tabletop Miniatures. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. If you like to leave a comment or anything, do that down below. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, as I said. Hit the notification bell and give us a like. Really appreciate it. Once again, I've been Matt the Hat, your host, and I'll catch you in the next one.